Tonight on the Daily News, hundreds in Chesapeake say no to a local landfill.
Norfolk drops a busing suit.
And it's moving day at the zoo. Next on the Daily News.
There's another universe out there, a creation of science and medicine, an endless universe of drugs and medications to help with nearly every health problem known. Amazing new discoveries crowding one upon another. Your family pharmacist at People's Drugstores is a skilled navigator of this universe. Depend on him. With your family doctor, he's an important part of your guide to good health. Your family pharmacist at your People's Drugstore. A world of difference.
Hanes has Flex Steel. That's good, because Flex Steel has it all. Style, comfort, beautiful fabrics, and now genuine top-grain leather. Why leather? Because leather outwears any other upholstery 4-to-1. Why have a cover that lasts so long? Why not? The patented steel spring base is guaranteed by Flex Steel for life. We have sofas, love seats, chairs, ottomans, and recliners, all 20 to 30% off. And this month, pay no money down and no finance charges for a year on your Flex Steel purchase at Hanes.
McDonald's brings you all the action and excitement of Hazard County with their new Dukes of Hazzard Happy Meal boxes. There's a new car every week, and each comes with an authentic set of decals. You can collect all 5 cars and create your own Hazard County with the Dukes of Hazzard Happy Meal at McDonald's.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Bob Grip.
And I'm Diana Morgan. Tonight in Chesapeake, hundreds of people showed up at a public hearing to say no to a new landfill site. The present site only has a few years left, so city officials will have to make a decision on that. But Eric Reynolds reports that tonight's negative response may make that decision very difficult.
The crowd spilled out into the halls. It was standing room only in the back of the auditorium, as more than 600 Chesapeake citizens came out to let City Council know that they are against a new landfill. Chesapeake has 2 choices: join a regional program with surrounding cities, or pick one of 3 possible sites, all near residential areas. With the overwhelming majority of people here supporting a regional concept, it may be very difficult for the city not to listen to how they feel, but they were here tonight en masse to make sure they were heard. 88 people signed up to speak their mind. All were against the sites for reasons such as odor, rats, and decreasing property value.
But it is difficult to accept any condemnation of a new $125,000 home to acquire a 12.5-acre site when other alternatives are available.
I urge you to reconsider the regional plan. None of the proposed sites in the city are acceptable.
Regional participation was almost unanimous when taxpayers were asked to stand if in favor. With 5 years capacity left in the existing landfill, no decision has to be made now. But when it is, this turnout should weigh heavy in the final decision. In Chesapeake, Eric Reynolds, The Daily News.
The waters off Fort Eustis may be the new home of over 150 idle ships. The Virginia Marine Resources Commission tonight is backing a plan that would move the empty colliers here to a site in the James River near the Army base. Other attempts to moor the ships in the York River and off Cape Charles on the eastern shore were shot down by local residents who didn't want the ships near them. Kathleen Bachman asked an attorney for the VMRC why this new location would be more acceptable than the others.
Well, I think, first of all, people are used to looking at ships in this area. Newport News Shipbuilding is a large employer in the area. Hopefully, people in the local area will be able to perceive some economic benefits.
Each idle ship could mean $750,000 to the local economy. The Norfolk School Board is dropping plans to sue 4 black families and 5 of their children. The lawsuit was designed to ensure that the school board's plan to eliminate busing would receive a court hearing. Busing supporters called the action harassment. After an emergency school board meeting this morning, Board Chairman Tom Johnson said the suit is being dropped because of the financial burden it would place on those being sued and because of public pressure.
It's been misperceived by the public. We wanted to go to court for the best of motives, and somehow it's been turned around that we're putting a hardship on people. And that's the driving force, I think, in our decision today to go back to our original game plan of just going through the Beckett action, and hopefully the court will hear us there.
And the board is continuing its effort to go to court to stop busing. In Chicago, a dispute between Burger King and the Reverend Jesse Jackson's Operation Push has led to a compromise that will provide more jobs and franchises for blacks. Mary Laney reports.
There are 2,800 Burger King franchises worldwide. 85 of them are black-owned. Under a corporate agreement signed in Chicago Tuesday, by 1987, blacks will own 15% of all Burger King franchises. Besides more black-owned franchises, the agreement calls for the corporation to increase black employment to 21%, to expand black participation in management, hire a black advertising agency, select minority contractors and suppliers, and upgrade existing minority-owned restaurants.
In other words, we're not asking for aid, we want trade. We're not asking for charity, we want parity. We want our share of business development.
It's not a cost. We think there's a tremendous upside opportunity for us. We think our business will be improved, and we think also we're doing the right thing.
In Chicago, Mary Laney reporting for NBC News.
The Senate is one step closer tonight to considering a proposed constitutional amendment that would do away with the Supreme Court ruling that legalized abortion 10 years ago. The Judiciary Committee sent the measure to the full Senate without making a recommendation. It would give states and Congress the power to place bans or restrictions against abortion. We have some good news tonight concerning crime. According to the FBI, serious crimes across the nation fell by 4% last year. But federal officials are not taking the credit. They say that goes to local law enforcement officials and concerned citizens who have made it their business to report crimes. According to the figures released today, murder and robbery fell by 7%, rape dropped 5%, and burglaries declined 10%.
Evidence of past crime is being unearthed in New York City. Today, the bodies of 2 women were found in a shallow grave in the backyard of a home that once belonged to a convicted murderer. The women had been dead for about a year. Police tonight are preparing to resume their search tomorrow. They believe there may be as many as 25 other bodies buried on the property. 2 prison employees are free tonight in Pittsburgh after a 6-day siege in a maximum security jail. The ordeal began last Thursday when 2 armed convicts tried and failed to escape. They took the 2 men hostage instead and holed up in the prison basement. Negotiations continued throughout the weekend, and today both hostages were released. Neither was injured, but both said they had been threatened during their time as captives. Coming up, another Virginia man is among the dead in Beirut.
And more on the search for victims of Monday's blast at the American Embassy when we come back.
Just look for this green beef.
Come into A&P and look for Gwaltney Big 8 Franks, just $1.19, 1-pound package, meat or beef. Also, Canada Dry Ginger Ale or Hires Root Beer, just 99 cents, 2-liter bottle, regular or sugar-free. And Arm & Hammer Heavy Duty Detergent with 50 cents off label, just $3.99, 227-ounce box.
Come on in, we'll watch our P's and Q's.
Chevettes, Chevettes, Chevettes. We're overstocked with over 200 of these economical gas-saving Chevys. With 9.9% financing and no money down, you pay only $127 per month. We've got the biggest discounts and the biggest selection anytime, anywhere. A new Chevette, only $127 per month, with no money down. Only at Casey Chevrolet, the Peninsula's biggest, the #1 Chevy dealer, Midtown Newport News.
And as a result of these regular teleconferences, we have coordinated our largest sale ever. Nice work.
Great news. Well, we met our deadline, thanks to the warehouse.
Well, we ship fast because we got the goods fast. And the guys in the factory did their part, too.
Well, when the sales force supports us the way
Ladies
they have...
and gentlemen, the real credit goes to our regularly scheduled teleconferences.
We did it.
C&P Telephone, still serving you with the best there is.
This is the world of Estee Lauder, filled with enjoyable times. And now she has a free gift for you, a whole beauty collection, including Estee Super Cologne Spray, the fragrance the Estee Lauder woman is wearing. This $19 value is your free gift with any Estee Lauder purchase of $7.50 or more. How great to have Estee Lauder treat you to Estee Lauder. Your Estee Lauder gift is available through April 23rd at all Miller and Rhodes stores.
As we told you last night, a Virginia man was among the 7 Americans killed yesterday when a bomb went off at the American Embassy in Beirut. Army Staff Sergeant Ben Maxwell had expressed some concern about going into that war-torn country, but said that he had his orders. Today, the Pentagon identified another victim from Virginia. He's 21-year-old Robert McMaw of Manassas, who's missing and presumed dead. McMaw was a member of the Marine Security Guard stationed at the embassy.
Meantime, the search for survivors turned into the search for bodies in Beirut as rescue workers realized there was no hope for those still trapped in the rubble. Jim Bitterman reports.
All day and into the night, the Lebanese workmen with their cranes and bulldozers carefully picked away at the rubble of the American embassy. At one point, work was stopped to listen for the sounds of anyone who might still be alive beneath the collapsed concrete. There were none, and the demolition work went on. The bodies of 8 Americans and 20 Lebanese are thought to be still buried. The funerals of some of the Lebanese killed in the explosion began this afternoon. The bodies of the Americans will be flown home later this week. Police who picked up and questioned 5 people at the scene said that some saw a lone suicide terrorist drive up in a truck just seconds before the blast went off. But there remained a question of motivation. Iranian extremists claimed responsibility for the attack 10 minutes after it occurred. But there were other groups later which claimed they did it. In the Middle East, the United States has many avowed enemies. Jim Bitterman, NBC News, Beirut.
Former Solidarity leader Lech Walesa is still having problems with authorities in Poland. He was detained by police again today in Gdansk. Rick Davis has a report.
Lech Walesa went to a police station again today for the 3rd time in a week and the 2nd day in a row. This time he was called in for questioning about alleged concealed funds of the underground union Solidarity. He was released 4 hours later. For 2 days, Walesa has been trying to get out of Gdansk. He wanted to join this ceremony, a memorial service honoring the Jews who died in the Warsaw Ghetto. A delegation from Israel came to lay a wreath for the victims of Nazi violence. But for Jews, there was an unwelcome tribute paid. Over their objections, the Polish government allowed a PLO delegate to participate in the memorial service. Rick Davis, NBC News.
Coming up, getting jobs for those getting out of jail.
And little by little, spring is creeping back. Don Slater and the forecast when we come back.
Oh, the joys of apartment living. The large family upstairs. The loving couple next door. The knowledge that your rent money is going down the drain. Let Oakwood Homes take you away from all that. Right now, you can own a completely furnished Oakwood home for no more in monthly payments than you're probably losing in rent.
Sure is quiet, isn't it?
Visit your Oakwood Homes sales center today.
Talk about homesick. I wouldn't have lasted a semester. Then Carol waltzed into my life, claims it was all pure bluff, says she was as scared as I was. All those years together just flew by. Oh, we still carry on, mostly on weekends when calling is cheaper.
Have a nice long visit with a friend this weekend and save 60%. Just dial direct anywhere state to state.
Reach out and touch someone.
Right from the start, Amoco Premium Lead-Free gives this Saab 900 Turbo faster acceleration. It's the highest octane lead-free you can buy. And it's the same high-performance gasoline that helps stop engine run-on in this 79 Compact. Whether you're driving a 4-year-old Compact or a high-performance car, you expect more from Amoco. And premium performance is one way you get it.
Your grocery dollars will go a whole lot further each week. You'll get lots of enjoyable meals with sliced quarter pork loin, $1.49 a pound. You save 50 cents a pound. And for tasty fried chicken, get restaurant-style mixed fryer parts, always fresh, never frozen, 37 cents a pound. You save 18 cents a pound.
Come on, step right into Below. In Suffolk, our prices bring you in. Our people bring you back. Come on, step right into Below. In Suffolk, our prices.
Going from jail to a job isn't easy, but it can be done. Tonight, Kathy Mitkiff tells us about a local program that's helping inmates prepare for life on the other side of the bars.
They're not hardcore criminals. They're here for 90 days on misdemeanor charges. When they leave, Sandra Brandt hopes they'll have jobs so they won't be back.
What's the first thing when somebody says, hello, my name is Mr. Jones, and I'm going to interview you today?
Sandra Brandt is the director of Step Up, a program that takes ex-offenders from the beginning to the end of the job hunt. For these inmates, some of whom cannot read, the application is intimidating. So they're given booklets in which they can record their employment history ahead of time and just copy it onto the appropriate lines on an application. Even though the job market is severely limited for people with criminal records, Step Up officials are urging these inmates to be honest about the past.
And he finds out that you've lied to him. What kind of trust and faith is that given? What is he going to do to you?
Termination.
Terminate.
It was beautiful. I really enjoyed, what she did, trying to help us, to find another job, because I knew I lost my job. Right?
Step Up is a federally funded program that's also at work in a few other Tidewater cities. So far, 80% of the people who've waded through the paperwork have gotten jobs. It's too early to tell how long they'll keep them, but Sandra Brandt says it's better to have them paying taxes than using them. In Norfolk, Kathy Mitkiff, The Daily News.
I don't know about you, but I'm ready for some good old spring weather.
That's right. As long as it isn't snowing, it's great.
Yeah, well, it's going to be cold. It's very cold tonight, but it's not snowing.
That's right.
Not here anyway. We'll look at some snow in New York, and we'll have a look at some of our cold temperatures in just a minute. First of all, I'll look at earlier in our current conditions right now across Tidewater. Mostly clear skies, and that's a harbinger of cold weather. 41 degrees at the airport, 38% the relative humidity. It's dry. It's a bit breezy. West winds are at 19. The barometric pressure is holding even at 29.65. The low last night, 33. The high for this afternoon, 48 degrees is all we could muster. High tide coming up at 2:30 in the morning, low tide 9 a.m., and a bay temperature of 52 degrees. Okay, here we go. Extra blankets for tonight, obviously. It's cold out there already, and it looks like it's going to get colder. Again, we could have some frost or even a hard freeze in low-lying inland areas, and we told you about that at 6 o'clock, and if you haven't covered your tomatoes by now, I think you're out of luck. Temperatures, again, they're dropping to around 40 degrees. The coldest spots in the map, 37 in Suffolk, 39 degrees Elizabeth City. A little bit of scattering of cloudiness across the area, but it's very thin cloudiness and a lot of clear spaces in between. 43 along the Outer Banks, 39 degrees as well in Chesapeake, 40 degrees in Portsmouth, 40 degrees as well. In Virginia Beach, it's 41 degrees again in Norfolk, 40 degrees in Hampton and Newport News, 41 degrees in Williamsburg. It's 42 degrees along in Cape Charles. Okay, now there's nothing to see on radar. Skies are clear to partly cloudy. The rain and snow are all gone. Out on the west coast, they've got a new storm just beginning to make its presence felt. Rain for the most part along the coast and inland, and then the farther into the mountains we go, it turns into snow across the midsection of the United States. It's beginning to warm up a bit out here, but they're also getting some scattered rain showers and some sleet mixed in across northeast Oklahoma, across much of Arkansas, and western Louisiana. Elsewhere, here's our storm of last night. Now, we had a low-pressure system that kind of scooted right on through here and then on up the coast. It's creating big problems right now, up to a foot of snow in the Poconos of New York. In fact, 11 inches elsewhere. Big problems with traffic, 45-mile-an-hour winds, rain along the coastal areas, and ahead of this low-pressure system, let's go to New York. Have a look at some of that snow footage. This is the bad part about the snow. Take a look at all the driving conditions that they've got up there. But this is the fun part. They're getting a little bit of beauty as well as some fun along with it. Anyway, oops. Let's go back. Let's go to the National Weather Satellite. Here we go. We can see our snow moving out. The low-pressure system moving right on up the coast. Few scattered rain showers here. Storm moving into California. The latest picture, here you can see where the storm is over southern New England, and you can see the hefty snow all the way actually into northern portions of Virginia on into New York, and then it turns into rain across eastern New England. Back to the computer, and what's ahead for us? High pressure is dominating, Arctic high pressure, cold high pressure. It's pumping down a northerly flow of air. We're getting northwesterly winds right now, and unseasonably cold weather should continue for about the next 24 hours. For tonight, breezy and cold. We could have some frost well inland, 32 degrees to 35 degrees across the greater Hampton Roads area. Strong northwesterly winds continuing at 25 to 35 miles an hour. Gale warnings are up for the coast. Small craft advisories for the bay and the harbor waters for tonight. So breezy and cold for tonight. The winds should drop off at least a bit for tomorrow. Northwest winds at 15 to 25 instead of 25 to 35. A bit warmer. That's the big news. 52 to 55 degrees should be our high temperature under partly cloudy skies. So we are looking a little bit better. Tomorrow, 52 to 55. We'll be optimistic and say 55. Mostly sunny for Thursday. And look at this, 65 degrees. After that, Friday, mostly sunny skies, 68. Saturday, partly cloudy skies, 70 degrees. And a chance of some rain on Sunday. That's still awfully far away, 70 degrees. So we've got nowhere to go but up. I mean, we are cold now, so we've got to get warmer.
And the weekend's looking great.
Yeah, so far.
Sounds good. In sports, the NBA playoffs begin.
And the Orioles win again. Bruce Rader will have the highlights when we come back.
A 9-year-old car. Junk. Another 9-year-old car, same make and model, still going strong after 105,000 miles. Part of the difference, a complete maintenance record. It's a good way to make sure your car gets all the service the owner's manual recommends. Find more answers on how to make your car last in the Longer Car Life book, free from participating Shell dealers. Come to Shell for answers.
The brightest stars and their personal stories are yours on the next Entertainment Tonight.
This is probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
Meet the new Shelley Hack. This former angel is back with a Broadway hit and a new movie that's putting her in the limelight again. Then E.T. spotlights the Winds of War's Victoria Tennant.
It was terrific. I mean, to spend a year working with Robert Mitchum was a great privilege.
Today's best on Entertainment Tonight.
Wednesday at 7:30 on TV 10.
My dad went to Heckinger to get a hinge 2 hours ago.
I love this store. I love this selection. All this and great prices, too. Like a 40-pound bag of Heckinger Great Topsoil for only $1.39. And $5 off Heckinger Great Weed and Feed. It kills weeds and fertilizes in one easy step. I love this store.
Everything you need for the care and repair of your home and garden store.
If you see my dad at Heckinger, send him home.
Of all the economy cars in America, many have front-wheel drive traction. But of all those front-wheel drive cars, only these 4 have a flat engine profile with an extremely low center of gravity for outstanding handling and traction. And every single one of them is a Subaru.
See the Subarus at the following locations.
The NBA playoffs began tonight.
Yes, they did.
And as you might expect, the Celtics won.
Well, the Boston Celtics played very well tonight, but so did the Atlanta Hawks. They never gave up. It was a good game, but the big factor is the Boston Celtics have Larry Bird and the Atlanta Hawks don't. And the Birdman was just awesome tonight. 26 points as the Celtics win Game 1 of their mini-series playoff, beating Atlanta 103 to 95. Let's pick up the highlights. The Atlanta Hawks in red started aggressively tonight. Danny Ainge with the miss, Dan Roundfield with a rebound. Roundfield then drives the length of the court and scores, going right over Danny Ainge. Talk about pretty alley-oops. The Celtics do it as well as anybody. Cedric Maxwell, the perfect feed to Gerald Henderson, who flies through the air with such ease. The Celtics, Robert Parrish with a pretty block right here. He rejects Davis. Now the block ball will come down to Tiny Archibald. Archibald with the hustling Robert Parrish. The feed to Parrish, he'll score, and is it any wonder that the Celtics are the best? Larry Bird with the nice rainbow shot right here. He had 26 points to lead the Celtics. Prettiest pass of the game, Dan Roundfield behind the back to Dominique Wilkins. It was the Celtics 48-45 at the half. In the second half, Dominique Wilkins, 21 points and the power jam. But late in the game, Mike Glenn of Atlanta loses the ball. Stolen by Buckner to Bird to Archibald, who's all alone as the Celtics win Game 1, 103-85. And out west, the Phoenix Suns lead the Denver Nuggets 62-56 at halftime. Baseball. Nothing local tonight, and all of this bad weather caused 5 major league games to be postponed, but not the Baltimore Orioles. They won again in the snow, beating the Texas Rangers 4-2. Pick up the action, bottom of the 3rd inning. Texas Rangers leading 2-1. This is John Lowenstein, a hot grounder right past first baseman Pete O'Brien out in the right field. Cal Ripken scores. The game is tied 2-2, and it was cold. Look at Kenny Singleton of the Orioles. Orioles thought they were going to take the lead. Game tied 2-2. Eddie Murray is up. He hits a drive that appears to be headed over the wall, but watch Pete O'Brien makes a great catch, leaping at the top of the wall, and we stay tied 2-2. Now, despite the cold, Don Slater made it to the game after all. Bottom of the 8th, tied 2-2. John Lowenstein of the Orioles is up. Lowenstein, with a tremendous wind blowing in towards him, hits a fly ball way over the wall, 376 feet away. It was 3-2 Orioles. Then came rookie Leo Hernandez. He lines a shot into the left field bleachers as the first-place Orioles down the Cleveland Indians 4-2. Meanwhile, after 7 innings in Chicago, the White Sox lead the New York Yankees 10-3. Some early highlights in the first inning. 34-degree cold. I mean, we're talking cold. The White Sox took a 1-0 lead as Harold Baines singles in Rudy Law with this hit. Then the big hit. Greg Luzinski brought in 3 more with his 3rd homer of the year. This makes it White Sox 4, Yankees 1 after 1. The White Sox went up 5-0 on the 2nd inning single by Baines off of Dale Murray. That will score another White Sox run. Now, the Yankees' first hit off Richard Dotson was a good one, though. Steve Kemp's 3rd homer, a 2-run number off his former teammate to cut the margin to 5-2. But the White Sox got 5 runs in the 6th inning, and they lead the Yankees 10-3 after 7. Other games on the scoreboard, it's the Minnesota Twins 4, the Mariners 2, that game after 7.5 innings. And over in the National League, the Reds leading the Astros after 8, the Braves shutting out the Padres after 1.5. Well, Virginia Tech says they will sign high school basketball star Mark Whitaker from Manor High School tomorrow. The 6'2" Whitaker was named the High School Player of the Year by the Virginia Pilot newspaper. That paper covers the teams on the south side. Whitaker led his Manor High School team to a 22-4 record this year.
That's pretty good.
Very good.
We're going to go to the zoo right after this.
There's nothing like a nice, cold Jacob Best Premium Light. It's the light beer that shares my love of life. When you're traveling light, go with the best.
Every step that Tidewater's March of Dimes poster child takes requires great effort on his part. Because walking is easy for you, get a group from your company or community and join the Challenge Team Walk America. While you're walking and having fun, you can be raising needed dollars to support research and prevent needless birth defects. Every step you take can make some handicapped child's life easier. Call your local March of Dimes office for information on registration.
There's no other sale like the Toro Red Tag sale.
Good choice, sir. Only Toros have a bag that empties this easy.
Not just because you'll save up to $50.
And an easy starting high torque engine.
On a full range of models. Because there's no other mower like a Toro.
Blades all sharpened, Hank.
Thank you. I'll take it.
Good choice, sir.
Save up to $50 now at participating dealer. Sale ends May 14th.
Hi, Jimmy Klein. The annual Klein Chevrolet Chevette-a-thon is underway at all Klein, Virginia stores with over 100 Chevettes as low as $45.95 and no down payment. A minimum of $15.95 trade-in on all used cars and trucks and 5.9% interest on everything else. At Klein Chevrolet Military Highway, 3 miles south of Military Circle. And ask us how to keep your payments under $100 too.
Everyone has heard of used cars, but what about used oil? Well, believe it or not, there's an oil recycling program right here in Tidewater. They're trying to prove that used oil is not useless and that recycling can save the environment. Barbara Sierra has more.
The organizers of the Tidewater Used Oil Recycling Program began the news conference by saying they are here to dispel a myth The myth that used oil is of no value. And most important, every year in Virginia, over 4.4 million gallons of used oil are improperly disposed of by do-it-yourself oil changers.
Many people will actually discharge the oil into sanitary sewers. This can cause severe treatment plant upsets if the oil is discharged in sufficient quantities and may be passed directly through the sewage treatment plant into a major receiving stream like the James River or the Elizabeth River.
And when that oil seeps into those water sources, the consumer usually pays with increased water rates. But it doesn't have to be that way. You can pour your used oil into tanks like these at participating gasoline stations all over Tidewater. It will create less pollution and maybe along the line save you, the consumer, money in the long run. In Norfolk, Barbara Sierra, The Daily News.
Some like it hot. Penguins like it cold, even Southern California penguins. At SeaWorld in San Diego, more than $7 million was spent to build a special center for its 300 penguins. Constructing the building was easier than getting the penguins to move. They just don't follow direction very well. They were loaded 40 at a time into refrigerated trucks for the trip to their new home.
That away, big guy. That's it. Yes, pull her on up. Yeah, I know. This isn't quite where you're not used to this. That away, guys.
The huge new exhibit area, which opens in 10 days, will have the penguins separated from the public by a one-way mirror, so people can watch the penguins without disturbance.
I just love the way they walk.
If you can't walk, you can just slide. That's the Daily News for right now.
Good night.